Okay. Um, this is Erica Keller, and this is my protocol for data. And so I did a continuous loop. I actually talked with my current substitute principal, Vicki Wiesman, and she gave me what she was working on, and she had adapted hers from The Reflective Principle by David Stewart, Tom Preble, and Peter Duncan. And when we talked about this, she liked it because it was very similar to the the teaching and learning cycle. So it's kind of something that teachers are already familiar with. So the one thing about it being a cycle is that it is never ending. And so that's good for teachers to see that we continue and we reflect on it. So we start with getting data, and I just put some questions there to help us begin to look at what data we're needing. So I didn't make it specific, but more like, what do we know from the data? So if we're adapting it from MAP or school assessments, classroom assessments, which makes it nice for any subject. So if it's not something that's necessarily tested, like a social science or science in an elementary classroom, but that's what we're trying to get so that when they do take the MAP test later or the state assessment in fifth grade, that we already have the data. We don't have to have something that is a benchmark assessment. Then we're going to analyze it together. So really showing that this is not something done in isolation, but that we're working as a team for it. And it kind of lends itself open to whether it is a team of your grade level or whether it is a team of different people, different stakeholders around the building, or even students. And then making changes. So how do we take the structure and change it? So how are we going to meet our goals, and what do teachers need to meet their goals? So what professional development may we need to put in place? What structures? And what other information do we need that we don't have? And then we go into the teaching and learning, so the actual classroom. So, we're doing all of these steps before we're really taking it into the classroom. And so then we're looking at how that structure we did, the making changes in blue, how is that translating into what we're doing in the classroom? And how is the professional development support being utilized in the classroom? And are there evidence of change based on the professional development that has been done, and what impact is being made? And then we really started again. So now that there has been some change, maybe we're making growth in one thing, but not in another. So now we look at the data and say, okay, we improved here. How can we make a difference in something else? So I'm thinking like with math. So, okay, we looked at all the data and we made big strides in operations and algebraic, but we're still struggling in geometry. So now let's look at the data again, and where are those gaps, and what do we need to do, and keep progressing through it. Like I said, the other thing I like about this is that it is very similar to the teaching and learning cycle, which we should be using in our classroom every day as we teach, as we get to know our students. And so this is just more of a global approach to it, whereas that analyzed together, instead of us thinking about it by ourselves and reflecting, now we're taking it a step further and getting help. And as far as teachers being given data, I think, or given a protocol, I think teachers like to have a plan. We love lesson plans. We love books. And so it's one thing if somebody's like, okay, look at the data. But if they don't give you the steps and give you the approach, you might not be doing it the way that ultimately affects change and creates change. And so this gives us step by step. So also as teachers go through it and maybe something is missing, okay, which part did you not meet on the cycle? And you can really go back and see, okay, are we following it, or are we skipping a step? Are we not analyzing it together, or are we not making those structural changes that affect the teaching and learning? So that is my protocol. Thank you.